Welcome back to Midnight Digital Decay, September 13th, 509 BC. Rome was in turmoil. Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, the last king of Rome, had been overthrown, and the Republic was in its infancy. On this day, Tarquinius attempted to rally his supporters for a counterattack. As he prepared his forces in a secluded grove, a strange phenomenon occurred. The sky darkened unnaturally, not with clouds, but with a thick, palpable darkness that seemed to pulse with its own life. Those present reported a low, resonant hum that grew louder and more intense, causing the earth itself to tremble. Suddenly, the ground beneath Tarquinius split open with a deafening crack, revealing a chasm that glowed with a sickly green light. The former king, his men, and their weapons were all drawn into this abyss, disappearing into the depths as the ground sealed itself shut, leaving no trace of their presence. The grove became a place of fear and reverence, avoided by all. It was whispered that Tarquinius had not died, but had been taken by forces unknown, perhaps to another realm, or perhaps to be judged by gods older and darker than the Romans worshipped. The event was quickly covered up by the new republic, but the legend persisted, a tale of the king who was swallowed by the earth itself, a warning that even those who rule can be claimed by the shadows of the world. September 13th, 1601 AD. The Siege of Kinsale, a pivotal event in the 9 Years' War in Ireland, took a dark and inexplicable turn. The English forces had surrounded the town, and the Irish and Spanish defenders were preparing for a desperate fight. But as the dawn of September 13th broke, a profound silence fell over the battlefield. No bird sang, no wind stirred, and the very air seemed to hang heavy, as if the world itself were holding its breath. The English soldiers, already uneasy, reported seeing figures moving through the fog, figures that did not belong to either army. These apparitions, tall and gaunt, clad in ancient armor that gleamed with a dull, otherworldly light, moved silently among the troops, their eyes glowing with an unnatural fire. Those who saw them were paralyzed with fear, unable to cry out or even move. As the day wore on, the English camp grew increasingly chaotic. Supplies spoiled overnight, weapons rusted as if aged by years, and men began to disappear without a trace, their places in the ranks filled by the silent, spectral figures. By nightfall, the English commander ordered a retreat, his forces broken not by battle, but by the creeping dread that had overtaken them. The siege of Kinsale ended not in victory or defeat, but in a surrender to an unseen force that seemed to claim the battlefield as its own. The story was suppressed, dismissed as the ravings of battle-weary soldiers, but those who were there never forgot. The silent siege, a day when the living and the dead walked side by side in the fog. September 13th, 1923 AD. A small expedition set out to map the remote corners of Death Valley, California, driven by rumors of strange geological formations and tales of lost gold mines. The group, led by seasoned prospector James Radcliffe, entered a narrow canyon known only to a few locals. As they ventured deeper, the temperature began to drop unnaturally, and the air grew thick with an oppressive stillness. By noon, they reached a vast expanse of sand that shimmered in the distance, as if alive with movement. The team reported hearing whispers, low, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to emanate from the ground itself. As they pressed on, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, and the sand beneath their feet began to shift and writhe. Suddenly, without warning, the ground opened up and Radcliffe was swallowed by the earth, his screams cut off abruptly as the sands closed over him. The others fled in terror, but only 2 made it out of the canyon, their minds shattered by the experience. They spoke of the Whispering Sands, a cursed place where the earth itself was alive, hungering for the souls of those who dared to trespass. The canyon was never mapped, its location lost to time, and the story of the Whispering Sands became a ghost story told around campfires, a reminder of the unforgiving nature of Death Valley and the ancient, malevolent forces that still lurk beneath its surface. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more of this content. It lets me know people enjoy it and motivates me to continue to create it for you all. If you haven't already, check out my link tree in the description for more esoterica.